Hello everyone, my name is FlareBlitzed and welcome back to Aokana. We're doing another mock battle inside of a classroom. It's a replacement for Mr. Shitu. Anyway, Sansol is inside it, so we've got to handle it with care. Misaki picks up a nearby chair and holds it out to me. But thanks. I accept the chair in shock. Why a chair? Why can't we just use a pencil or something? I mean, we're inside a classroom. We can use the pens from the board. There are fantasy stories about dolls and plushies that some human souls inside them. Yeah, that store human souls inside them. But a soul inside a chair is like something out of a surreal horror film. And you're saying that human souls inside a doll or a plushie is not from a horror film? Because I think that's most likely the outcome, but it is in a horror film. Or at least fantasy. Anyways. Inui probably expects that we're studying her playstyle, but I doubt the thought of her soul being transported into a chair has ever crossed her mind. Oh no. Maybe I should tell her to put her off her game for the match. So we're doing stimulation training here. We can't get over her tactics if we don't... Start! Misaki lets out a confusing cry, then starts weaving her way between the desks. I'm taking a shortcut. Come on, don't just stand there. Start running. Right. I carry the chair above my head to prevent it from banging into any desks. Wait, was the first boy that locker? No, the blackboard eraser. Misaki is trotting around in a circular motion. Quickly, before my eyes start spinning around in my head. Okay. She's eccentric today. I run over to the blackboard and lower the chair to gently tap it against the eraser. That's 1 point for me. I use recoil from the boy to accelerate up. I stretch out my arms to lift Inui's soul into a higher position. I'm just getting the feeling that chairs are not very, what you would call, aerodynamic. They don't represent a human as well as Mr. Shitu did, because since they're long and flat, well not flat, but what do you call it? Not pancake sized, but bun sized. I ascend too to match you. Misaki approaches me, then hops with an arm outstretched. Hey, watch it. I'll never win if I let a chance to engage Inui-san in a dogfight get by me. Wait. I heave the chair to the ground. I feel sorry for Inui-san. You shouldn't treat a girl that rough. Wait, why did you get to be yourself when Inui has to be a chair? Can't I just pretend to be Inui? I feel bad for her if her soul was transported into you though. I think it's worse being inside the chair Nah, I think it's being inside you is worse. I'd rather be the chair than Misaki, for goodness sakes. I don't think any other soul can retain that stubbornness that Misaki has. It's hard to say. Would I rather my soul be a chair or a gorilla? No one's ever compared me to a gorilla before. Of course not. You wouldn't compare a human to a human, would you? So you're saying I'm an actual gorilla? Why is she like this? I didn't mean to expose you to the harsh truth. The words just slipped out. Oh yeah, sorry. Sorry, yeah. That's the last thing you would be truthful about. I can feel my soul escaping me as I sigh. You've been acting weird ever since we got here. You weren't like this earlier. Hey! Wait, you're way too close. She starts backing away from me slowly, like I'm some kind of grizzly bear. Seriously, why do you keep moving away from me? Well, wait a second. I'm a girl, so that's just how it goes. That's just how it is. Really, what? That's just how what is? I mean, obviously, not like I ever thought anything else. With a chest like that, how can I... Oh, I mean, do you really need me to explain? Explain what? I'm so confused. Like, I don't get even half the things that you're thinking of, Misaki. You're on a different planet sometimes. We're on planet Earth, and you're on planet Uranus. If possible. We've only just started going out, right? Right. So, we're alone in the classroom right now. There aren't any clubs going on. So the chances of someone coming back here are pretty low? Yeah. So, like, when you asked me out, I just sort of got swept up in it. I was super nervous and it felt like I was gonna die. But at the same time, like, that was sort of the only thing I could do. There was this invisible force pushing me along. See, even though I thought I was gonna die, I was okay. But right now, we have to do everything from the beginning, so I really don't have any idea what to do. Like, when you just start approaching me without knowing what I'm thinking and trying to do, you know, when that happens, all I can really do is run away, so it's like, about the mood. I know we have to create the mood, but I don't know how to do that, so I just have to buy time and what was I talking about again? Huh? So, I think it was something about a new line of candy. Oh right, it's so sad that you don't get many new chocolate products during summer. I get that it's cause all the yummy chocolate would melt away under the heat, but I wouldn't say it's a winter food. Don't actually play along. Seriously, what do you think I was gonna do? Well, kiss me? Kiss you? Don't act shocked on purpose to make me look like a perv, you coward. I really didn't think that far ahead. You didn't? How far had you thought then? Just cuddling. I figured doing a little bit of that would be nice, I guess. I haven't considered kissing. Liar! I'm not lying. Give me a moment. Misaki placed a hand on her chest and takes some deep breaths. Cuddling, huh? Sure thing. Let's work towards that. No, toward kissing. Why are you making things harder? You brought it up, so now I want to kiss you. Here goes nothing. Stop! Being forceful is fine, but being forceful is no good. What? They're both the same thing. You're saying yes, but no. Misaki also. No, but yes. Wait, but no. I think you've forgotten how language works. Emotions are riding up, and that's why she's repeating the same words. Like, what? Sure, it's nice to just get a sudden kiss sometimes, but you can't always force it on me. Now is one of those times where you can't. It's both of us that we learn how to set the mood. This is kind of hard, isn't it? I want to kiss you too, but I can't even imagine how to get it right. How does ordering me to lick my shoes help with that? Right. How does it go in the manga you read? There must be a bunch of kissing in those. Misaki hangs her head. Kisses are inevitable in stories, which you are in right now. But then again, in reality, there are all kinds of stories out there. We kissed after you asked me out, so that was inevitable too. But kissing just because we want to is more like uninvitable. So, an invitable kiss is one hell of an expression. How do other people share uninvitable kisses? The air weighs down on us so heavily that it feels like it would be a struggle to move a fingertip. Do you think everyone starts worrying about these things when they're dating? I don't know. I just want to kiss you. Why is this so hard? Maybe everyone lives their lives only sharing in inevitable kisses, and only pervs like us want to kiss at other times. There's nothing pervy about wanting to kiss the person that you love. But we're struggling because we want to. There's definitely something wrong with us on a mental level. You just said the most ridiculous thing and managed to sound hurt while saying it. I mean, just being alone together has us wanting to kiss each other. Doesn't it make sense when you think of it that way? What do we do? I never knew I could be like this. Well, we've only just started dating, but we turned into a couple of No! You're the one brandishing us. Quit driving yourself into a corner. But what the hell are we supposed to do? I take a step closer to Misaki and grab hold of her shoulders. I can feel how tense she is. She's probably shattered like pottery if I hit her. I think this counts as being forceful. I'm not being forceful. I haven't kissed you yet. Huh? Well, this is kind of embarrassing. But here goes. Just holding your shoulders as my heart racing. Your palms are making my heart race, too. I have no idea my shoulders were so sensitive. I can even feel your hands trembling slightly. Tension continues to build up inside us. God, these two are... Yeah. When Shiraza said that their relationship is not going to go well, I can see that. They're both too similar for one another. Misaki's strange breathing must be a sign. I lean in toward her. She shuts her eyes and tilts her head up toward me. Ah. See, that's not so hard, is it now? That's not too hard. Won't make sure. Anyways, our lips squished together. I can feel how soft hers are. Lips really are sensitive. Gosh, are we going to make out in the classroom? For goodness sakes. Misaki pulls away slightly and whispers, I don't think this counts as an unavoidable kiss. Doesn't matter. Why not? 'Cause it feels good. I can feel you conveying your feelings to me. I'm happy that you're doing it, 'cause, well, I was a little anxious. About what? I was really forceful when you asked me out, so I was wondering if maybe you'd be forced into going out with me. I didn't really think that, but I was a little anxious. Of course I wasn't forced into going out with you. I said it was only a little. Jeez. Still better to get rid of that anxiety. I'm going to say this seriously now, so don't turn it into some joke. Okay. Will you help me get rid of it? I love you, Misaki. Okay. I was already tense, but now every time I open my mouth, a different kind of tension is building up. The only one I'll ever want to kiss is you. The embarrassment for actually admitting how much I love Misaki is turning into excess tension. Yeah. I'll tell you whenever I want to kiss you, so you do the same. Okay. I want to kiss. I want to kiss you right now. My lips press against hers once again. Lots of sounds. Misaki's ragged nasal breath blows against me with a kiss. As we kiss. I wait for her breathing to calm before gently sucking on her lips. There's an adorable little sound as I do. Ah. I can tell that Misaki's smiling. It's evident even through her shoulders as I hold them. I'm too close to see her face, but touching her shoulders and lips is enough. This is what it feels like to hold a person you love. The person you love. I can feel her presence far more clearly than the last time we kissed. This time Misaki rubs against my lips, which makes another adorable sound. Seemingly pleased by that noise, Misaki continues to suck on my lips. What? The joy she's feeling comes bounding into me. We're only kissing, but it feels like we're skipping hand in hand. Our movements go grander as we become entranced in kissing. Our mouths are speeding up too. I hold her shoulders tightly. Misaki shuffles slightly closer to me. We part our lips and touch our foreheads. Ah, Masaya, Misaki, we know our desires for each other won't stop. We know that we feel the exact same way. Hell, it's painfully obvious. This is what it means to kiss. This again. The soft feel of her lips sends a throbbing sensation coursing through me. I wonder if there's anybody watching nearby. We move as if eating away at each other's lips. Our tongues poke out at the same time and twine together. Oh my god. French kiss. Faint wet squashes fill the air. I never realised kissing could sound so weird. A moment ago we were desperately trying to come up with a way to set the mood, and now look at us. You are one with the mood. Use more tongue. Like this. Ah, yeah. Misaki presses her whole face against me, trying to get her tongue further into my... Okay. Masaya? We're kissing as if our lives depend on it. I'm no longer fully sure whose lips or whose tongue belongs to who. I can feel my mind slowly eroding away. Misaki and I continue to kiss for a while longer. I raise a hand up to my lips. Do your lips feel like disemboweled? More like kind of swollen. It's weird. Oh, I get what you mean. My whole mouth area feels kind of fuzzy. It's like how your brain feels hazy when you come down with a fever, only concentrates around my lips. Guess this is what happens when you play too much tonsil tennis. We must have kissed too much. My lips don't look swollen or anything, do they? Not as far as I can see. I wonder if kissing always makes you feel this way. Misaki looks down to the side in regret. We really are a couple of perverts. We're kissing things I know it. Quit making up terms. I'm pretty sure everyone goes through this. They just don't talk about it. Probably. We should avoid kissing for a while or mine are gonna break. They're ready to drop off at any moment. No one's lips have ever fallen off. Relax. But we can save this for special occasions. Like kisses we can do all the time. All the time? Masaya, you perv! I have no intention of denying that. Misaki suddenly grabs my hand. What's up? I can be pretty annoying, huh? Yes, that's one to say, for goodness sake, sometimes. Would have been nice if you denied it. There's no point in lying. I love that about you. If she wasn't annoying at times, she wouldn't be Misaki. Thank you. But I'm sorry. I'm probably going to cause even more problems for you in the future. Her bashful smile is almost blindingly radiant. As long as you're in love with me, I'll be so happy. Or like, happy, or rather, I can't find the right words. Anyway, I love you, Masaya. Let's go with that. I love you too, Misaki. Let's go with that. Yeah, let's go with that. This is just the start. Yeah, it is. Misaki beams at me and bows her head. What's up? Like, my heart was pounding super fast the whole time we were kissing, but it calmed down while we were talking. Misaki purses her lips for a moment, but then admitting that I love you made it start racing again, man. Just thinking about how much I love you is, well, you know, not really, no. Am I gonna feel like this every time I admit I love you? Maybe. Let's kiss again. We just kissed until my lips were about to fall off. No stories have ever told that kissing allows your lips to fall off. Yeah, but seeing you right now is making me want to do it all over again. Come on, I'll make it quick, promise. Yeah, whatever you say. I lay a gentle peck on Misaki's slightly pouted lips. You love me forever, right? That's the plan. Misaki leans forward, leaning her head into my chest. I wrap my arms around her back. It feels like we're melting each other's warmth. It's what penguins do. Here we go. Yeah! Take this! No! Just remain stationary! Ugh, now that's something I do mind. Misaki in lower position and Master Skywalker in the higher position are on the field where they've been practicing for quite a while now. Shirazi-san, Prez and I are looking up at them while we hold a strategy meeting. Not quite. Shirazi-san erases the idea he's been writing on the whiteboard and starts again. Oh, Tobisawa just drew mask in using a reversal and gained the height advantage. To draw someone in, the FC terms is to use a feint or something to get your opponent to move down towards you. It combines well with a reversal. A reversal, huh? There's a huge skill gap between Master Skywalker and Misaki-chan, so she can make it work. But what if she was up against Inui or Suzuki-chan? How many times would she be able to attempt it? And then how many times within that would it actually work? I speak into my headset. Return to your positions and go again. No reversals this time. Roger. Mask, please ensure you don't get drawn in by any feints. Got it. What was Shinru-kan's advice again? To fight on a small scale. Huh? A small scale? I think I get what he's trying to say, but how do we get a solution out of that? I wish Shinru had given us the answer straight up instead of this annoying riddle. He was just telling me it was something worth considering. I honestly doubt he might even have an answer himself. Either way, I'm grateful he's given us a nudge in the right direction. Let's try getting our thoughts in order. Shirazu-san, can I borrow the whiteboard? Sure. Prez proceeds to draw a little figure of Misaki under the figure of Inui that Shirazu-san drew. Inui is hovering above here with Tobisawa here. You got Misaki's limbs the wrong way. Oh, I got up and down mixed up. I bet Tobisawa could pull this off though. Why would you even seem that? I'm pretty sure she can't dislocate her joints at will. Shirazu-san smiles as he looks at the picture. It all makes sense if we just assume Misaki-chan's flying inverted as Inui draws in. Yep. Inverted. That's what I was thinking in the last episode. Prez and I look at each other at the exact same time. We're definitely onto something here. Something good. Shirazu-san, what did you just say? He looks confused. He stares over at me and Prez. What? You just mentioned inverted flight. Yeah, but... Oh. Yes, they can't score on you if you are upside down. We all fall silent. Feels like we've got something, right? Right. Inverted flight. Huh? Yeah, inverted flight. I speak into my headset. Misaki, Mask, come down here. There's something we need to discuss. Oh, what's up? Ha ha ha! To the gallows with you! Oh yes, don't mind if I do. The two of them have their usual back and forth as they descend. Sup? Take a look at this. I point at the whiteboard. Inui is on top, Tobisawa's on the bottom. My limbs are all pointing the wrong direction. This is a version of you in the future, having been okay. Rude. I haven't done anything to deserve being crippled. The figures are of Inui-san and Misaki. You're not even there, Mask. Then allow me to fix it. Huh? Mask Skywalker snatches the pen from the president. There! Perfect! Then they drew a mask on the upper figure. When did me lose and become a given? It is merely a matter of time. To the gallows with you! Anyway, Misaki, if this is you flying inverted, what do you think? That's not much for me to visualize here. Well, none of us are better off, really. We just thought that inverted flight might be the answer. The answer? Masaya, what's going on? Look, say for instance you could fly on your back as well as you could do normally. What then? Nothing would change. That would change! Use your head! Everyone remained silent for about half a minute. If you could do that, all of Inui's tactics would be rendered invalid. Huh? Seriously? I was just thinking the same thing, yeah, because she relies on controlling your opponent from above, so therefore if you're inverted, then she can't do that. Huh? Why would that happen? I take two Mr. Shitus out of my bag, then I'm holding them pointing the same way, heads down to the ground. Look here, Inui's tactics revolve around maintaining the height advantage while above your opponent. It's easy to monitor their actions, but the person below has a difficult time knowing what's going on above. That's where the advantage comes from. The upper Mr. Shitu can see the lower Mr. Shitu, but the lower Mr. Shitu can't see the upper Mr. Shitu. I press the upper Mr. Shitu's face against the back of the lower one. Being in the upper position also makes it easier to target your opponent's back in a dogfight. The person below simply has to have their back to their opponent at all times. Boy, don't I know it all from all of this practicing? The person in the upper position can also use gravity to help them accelerate, but the person in the lower position has less potential energy, so they can't do it as effectively. Yeah, I've been forced to deal with this every single day during practice. And so, I flip the lower Mr. Shito around. Now both players can see each other. Huh? Oh right. Now the lower player can look up, while the upper player keeps on looking down. I bump the two Mr. Shito heads together. And if they enter a dogfight while they're both facing each other, they'd be completely equal. I see. So basically, Misaki stares between the Mr. Shitos and the whiteboard before continuing. If I can fly inverted, it no longer matters who's above or below, with one exception. That would be, gravity? Exactly. The person above still has gravity to their advantage. That'll hold true even during a dogfight, but I press the Mr. Shitos together. When we consider your speciality as dogfights, gravity is no longer a deciding factor. Misaki quickly alternates between me, Shirazu-san and Prez. You mean we've actually found a way to break through Inui-san's tactics? Maybe, but there's still a big problem. Misaki anxiously opens her mouth, which is inverted flight itself. I've never really flown inverted before. Is it difficult? I've never done it properly myself, so I don't know. I turn to Shirazu-san. There aren't many people who have practiced inverted flight, right? Nope, you can imagine how difficult it is. It may be doable enough for just flying for fun, but during a match it's a whole different story. Yeah, maintaining an inverted flight form is probably difficult enough. But for goodness sakes, Misaki can do it! But problems start there? Won't you just get used to it? I doubt it's that easy to get used to it. I guess. The settings on grav shoes are set with normal, level flying in mind. The anti-graviton membranes created by the shoes makes it easiest to fly in that position. But grav shoes have all kinds of different settings, yeah? Can't we just tinker with them to line them up with inverted flight? Do you plan on flying inverted for the entire match? Oh, that's probably not happening. Changing the settings on your shoes for inverted flight might make it harder to fly normally. Might be interesting to spend the whole match flying inverted. No one's ever even considered an option like that, so you might even make it all the way to the national championships. This has gotten interesting. Not happening. Why not? If we put all our eggs in that basket, all it would take is one person to work out a counter strategy and we'd be ruined. Besides, you can only fly inverted when you're below your opponent. True. After you gain the high advantage, you'll be showing your back to your opponent, which means they'll just score 1 point off you after another. Also, maintain the lower position would mean you can't use gravity to accelerate as effectively. Yeah, it's just more advantageous to fly normally. We may win the first tournament we go to, but that would be the end of it. I want Misaki to be the best player possible. Misaki's not the kind of person who'll win one tournament and let things end there. That's so... Misaki-chan? Dunno, you better off asking my coach. I still think having a player specialised in inverted flight is an interesting idea. And there's the Skywalker. You gonna do it, Mask? I would not stoop to the level of stealing another's idea. Guess I'll give it a go then. The ideal situation has you focusing on normal flying, while being able to break out inverted flight if the need arises. But there are still issues with the membrane, right? Prez? If you can't rely on the membrane, just rely on something else. Like... muscles. Prez strikes one of his signature poses. Muscles! Oh no! I saw that coming off a mile away. Who stuck me in the universe where I become a muscle sister? It might be a good idea to train your back muscles and abs to help maintain your form. Train your muscles! Isn't anyone gonna save me from a muscly doom? Now let's not get too hasty here, guys. I think we need to test to see if inverted flight really can break through Inui's tactics. Better to test out theory than debate it, huh? Alright, let's get cracking. You okay with this, Musk? I'm ready whenever. Thanks, dude. I'm seriously so grateful. Thank you, really. Nah, I'll simply participate to ensure you defeat at my hands. To the gallows with you. If it's for you, Mask, I really don't mind. Yeah, get going, you two. Meow. Ha 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 ha. Let's see. What are you laughing about? Shri! It's an all-you-can-eat Misaki buffet out there. She's getting destroyed. That's fine, but Mask has been relentless. I told them to. Huh? Told them to what? To find Misaki-chan's weakness and pursue it relentlessly. You really gave that order? Mask's not what you'd call mentally strong. Without firm orders, they'll cower in the face of a strong opponent. All that shouts and grandeur is a way of boosting their courage. Oh, I see. Shinya-san started yelling when playing against Asuka in Inui too. I assumed it was a tactic to make his opponents cower, but it seems part of it was to encourage himself as well. So that's what Mask's doing? Yeah, they're a timid, gentle person at heart. I feel like this might be working too well though. You care a lot about Mask, huh? Ha! You think? Pretty sure you're imagining things. No, I'm pretty sure I'm not. Hinata, would it be uncouth to continue here? What? You know, unsophisticated, that is to say, inelegant. You must never try to figure out the true nature of one who wears a mask. I see. They're hiding themselves because they want to. I should be poking my nose into it. Misaki doesn't have enough practice partners as it is, and it'd be hard to find someone else who'll work this hard. So that's fine. But still... If I ever get the chance to pay Mask back for this, I definitely will. Thanks, so... what do we do about the current issue? Let's have him come down for now. I'll switch on my headset. Calm down, you two! Aww. Ha 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 ha! Misaki is evidently exhausted. She approaches unsteady on her feet. How'd it go? I could see more than usual, I guess, so in a way, it made the match easier to play. Also, we were facing each other, so I wasn't worried about my back being targeted. Those are some big pluses. I think those are the only good points right now, though. I'll bet. Things wouldn't have gone so bad up there if you only had good things to say. It's terrifying having your back to the sea instead of to the sky feels completely different. I thought I was going to fall into the water at any moment. Also, it's hard to tell how high up you are. It is? How so? Because you can't see the end of the sky, but you can see the water surface. Well, normally when you're flying, you can see all around you, yeah? Like I just had to turn my neck slightly to see if the beach is over there, and I can see way into the distance too. But you can't see that while flying inverted. Nope, can't see a thing. I ain't kidding around. What's with the sudden Asuka impression? I can't see anything but the sky. It's impossible to tell how high up I am without contorting into some weird angle or twisting the whole way around. Makes sense. When flying normally, you can just tilt your head down to see the ground, but that's impossible when flying inverted. The trick here is to not always fly inverted, but fly inverted when the time comes. All I can see is the sky, the clouds, and the sun. So it's hard to tell where you are vertically, but what about horizontally? I can see the buoys, but it feels like there's way more angles where I can't see them compared to flying normally. couldn't instructions from your second help you work through that? Maybe, but like, not being able to tell myself was killing me. It'll probably be hard to dogfight without having any sense of distance. Right. Was there anything else that bothered you? The form, I guess. It made me feel all stiff, so I ended up responding to Mask's movement a moment late. Or perhaps my master feeds you on raw strength alone. You suddenly outpaced me. Ha 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 ha. So, what do you two plan on doing? As in, the fall tournament. If you want to beat Inui there, you're already starting a bit late. He's got a point. Misaki and I look at each other. Try out inverted flying, look into other options, or give up on being ready for the fall tournament. Those are your only options. I think it's worth trying out inverted flying, but in the end, the decision's up to Misaki. It's so perverted of you to say that when you already know what my answer will be. What's so perverted about it? Misaki stares up at me. It's perverted that you're getting me to make a decision when you already know there's no way in hell I refuse. To the gallows with you! Don't mind if I do, Mask. Here's to working together until the fall tournament. Misaki bows her head. Mask is slightly taken aback. Ha 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 ha! You think you can keep up with the mask? I'll do my best. Right, that's our goal then. We've got to think up some ways to train. Yeah. Yep. Misaki bounds up as she gives a giant nod. I'm so excited. You are? Yeah, this is the start of something new. We're all in this together. Isn't that awesome? Awesome, huh? Yeah, it sure is. Shinisan's words crossed my mind. He says we're lucky to be able to play FC while it's still developing. I didn't doubt that he believed that, but I did think part of him was just trying to act tough. I thought maybe he convinced himself of that so it didn't feel like all the work he put in had been laid to waste by anyway. But I was wrong. We're all standing right in the midst of a storm of change, one that we influence ourselves. There's Misaki, there's Mask, there's Shirasan, there's Prez, and yourself, and there's me. One thing. What's up? Your face is red. You're feeling hungry? I'm really glad we have this chance to work together. My words are completely heartfelt, and yet... Everyone's laughing. Everyone erupts with laughter. As embarrassing as this is, everyone's smiling, so it's not all that bad. And the eyebrows are up rather than down. This again. Not on my watch! Here I go! Misaki throws a feint as she flies inverted below Mask, ascending into a dogfight. Ah! Sheesh! Mars touches Misaki's back. Mars drew her imperfectly. Man, Mars gotten really good. Well, playing against Misaki-chan and going through all those dogfights would help anyone improve. Inverted flight really does dull your reactions though, huh? Yeah. 10 days have passed since we started practicing inverted flight. Yet Mask is still able to keep Misaki in check and steal points off her. Things are going pretty well, I think. But there's one thought constantly running through my mind. Summer break is almost over. Is this too much for her to master in such a short time? Take this! Misaki's panting and movements have gotten sloppy. Her concentration is evidently broken. Prez, could you switch with Mask? Okay, I'm ready to fly whenever. I switch on my headset. Mask, it's time to descend. Prez is up next. We'll switch to practicing stopping a speeder. Roger. Mascon used her moves so they can dodge her attacks, but Anyway herself might be too bewildered to do anything at first. Maybe. I know Chirasa-san's being considerate here. If Misaki or I end up feeling defeated by how things are going, everything we've done will be for nothing, but his kindness doesn't help formulate our tactics. It's okay, Chirasa-san. Neither of us have any plans on giving up now. That's so. Then I may as well say it. Misaki-chan's not getting the hang of it. I kind of figured a genius like her would be able to master this in no time. Genius or not, I thought so too. I think back to that one summer day where I was forced to see a version of my future self. How was Misaki able to do that if this is where she stumbles? She will not stumble. All of these conclusions have led to us in victory. Rika was victorious against Kazumi. Mishiro was victorious against Misaki. And Misaki will be victorious against either Inui or probably more likely Asuka. We're walking toward Misaki's house. This area is full of old historical buildings, making it seem far more refined than the new residential area where I live. Inverted flight is way harder than I thought. It's an uphill battle. I hate that I still can't do it right. I hate it! Oh? I hate it, to put it in terms you'll understand. I hate this 10 times more than when that wild boar ravaged Grandma's field. Yeah, not sure I get that. I'm just saying I hate this more than you can imagine. Can I ask you something? Is it pervy? Honestly, you guys. There you go again. Drawing in your own conclusions before we can speak! Why would I do that at a time like this? Well, there isn't anything else you want to ask, is there? Of course there is. Tons of stuff, all of which are outside the field of perviness. Very suspicious. I'm convinced it's a pervy question, but go ahead. It's about that day we first met. You were flying even faster than me, plus your form was similar to mine, but even more beautiful. It was? This may be a weird question, but I assumed Misaki just happened to get the hang of things quickly, right at the start. But then, why? Why are you only at this level when you were able to do so much in your first match? That's a tough question. I was pretty damn strong. How the hell did you manage to fly better than me when you're a beginner? It should have been impossible. I'm embarrassed to be bringing up the past, but back then I was good enough to represent Japan on the world stage. Yet Misaki having been compared in a regional, let alone a national, it's hard to believe she was a beginner. Yeah, but it happened, so I get that you're lacking in stamina, but you should have won a national tournament or something by now. As if. I mean, obviously that hasn't happened. I just don't get it. Your form's still great, so why choose to be a fighter? Wouldn't you have been better off as a speeder or all-rounder? Well, I've always liked a good brawl, and when it comes to being a speeder or an all-rounder, honestly, I'm not that confident in my form. Huh? I thought you said you could do anything. And I can. Like, if I actually tried, and could put it off decently. But actually being a speeder or an all-rounder would be too much for me. Maybe I was just too idealistic in the past. Idealistic about what? It's cause you got the wrong idea, Messiah. You never tried to understand how I felt, so I never got a chance to tell you. Wrong idea about what? Were you just flying for fun? Misaki forced a small smile. Half of me was. The other half of me was disappointed. About what? Remember how you suddenly quit on me? I thought you were angry because of how bad I was. I went to the beach every day while I was staying at Grandma's house, hoping I'd get a chance to apologize to you. You did? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were angry because my form was awful. She forced herself to adopt another style. So I also thought it was better to not play as a speeder. I don't really know what to say. I'm sorry. I truly mean that. I just hope it can fix things after all this time. I'm the one who should be apologising. Besides, there was another reason I couldn't be a speeder or all-rounder. What do you mean? If I really was flying that well, then it was cause you were next to me, Masaya. Maybe, but there are tons of people better than me. You can go online and see hundreds of videos. That wouldn't help. I want to feel it in person, to see it and smell it. I get the feeling that's what helps me grow. So that means... Huh? You've never met anyone better than me, and that's why you're still at the same level? I object to you implying that I'm still at the exact same level, but I never met anyone quite else like you, Masaya. So that's it, huh? Lines are starting to form in my head between problems that I'd never really spared much thought. Maybe the basis for Misaki's shock was that she was using tactics she couldn't comprehend simply by watching. Sure, it might have been surprising if she'd be able to fly at insane speeds, or take insanely tight turns, or pull off insane aerial rolls, or do insanely fast low yo-yos. But that wouldn't have been enough to make her consider quitting FC. You can't understand Inui's tactics simply by watching. You have to develop a mind for FC first. That's what left Misaki in so much shock. On top of that, she had to deal with the shock of Asuka readily understanding something she couldn't herself. And then there's one more problem. The reason she's progressing slower with inverted flight than she expected. She's never seen it before. Of course she hasn't. Tons of players end up flying inverted over the course of a match, but no one puts themselves in that position voluntarily. She has no model to imitate, and that leaves her progressing at the same rate as any normal person. That's okay though. More than okay actually. I'm sorry I've disappointed you by not being able to pull off inverted flight. I think it's a good thing. Why? Because you won't forget something that you put in hard work and effort to master. You think? A technique that you put in the effort to learn sticks with you way longer than one you learn instantly. It's far more ingrained in you. There's a mental aspect to it too. It gives you the confidence to win with what you've learned. I see. Not sure I'm putting in quite as much effort as you're saying though. But you are. I'm the one who's making you stop practicing at the end of the day. If I left you alone, you'd probably keep going until the sun went down. I wouldn't last that long. It only takes about 3 minutes from the start of practice before I'm going, God, I can't take it over and over in my head. But I'm still the one stopping you, so that you don't overwork yourself. Listen, Misaki, you should know you're putting in a ton of work, okay? If you say so, Masaya, you've got to make that yourself as well. Misaki goes strangely silent, then comes to a halt. You can leave me here. I'll be fine on my own the rest of the way. I'll see you back to your house. Nah, it's cool. I want to be alone for a bit. Besides, if Grandma sees you, she'll get all like, why don't you introduce me to your boyfriend, you know? You could introduce me, though. No way. I've got a lot of building up to do before I'm ready for that. Here's fine for today. Okay. See you later. Bye! Misaki waves me off before spinning around and walking right off. I have dinner, take a bath, and start looking up the latest FC news online. Inui's tactics still aren't proving to be much of a topic of conversation. It seems that out of all the people in the audience, very few experienced the same shock as us. That match between Inui and Shindo-san, from a normal perspective, it just looked like Inui kept him in check the whole time and ran that way. But I imagine more people realise that's not the case in the next tournament. The change in FC might all come from Shid to Island, huh? As I gaze blankly at my monitor, my phone starts to ring on my desk. Misaki's calling. What's up? Something wrong? I was wondering if you'd come meet me. Now? This late? I want to see you. Not for any pervy reasons. Are you disappointed? Totally. It only gets your hopes up when a girl rings to tell you they want to see you this late at night. Wow, you're actually being honest. So why do you want to see me? Truth is, my body's burning up. No! What then? I want to fly. Huh? I just really want to fly and I want you to watch me. Please, don't say no. Okay. You gave in easily. And you told me not to say no. Besides, I used to do this all the time back in the day. I jump up in the dead of the night and start flying. Even I'd been told to stop practicing. I just kept going alone. My entire being was FC, and I couldn't be stopped. Okay, I'll come and meet you at your place. Girls shouldn't be out alone this late at night. I set up the boys, then stood at the beautiful moon hanging in the night sky. I feel uneasy. The clubroom door gives its weird creaks as Misaki steps out, changing to her practice gear. Feels like I'm doing something I shouldn't be, changing the clubroom. I know what you mean. This is a place we abandoned. I know everyone would be more than happy to welcome us back, but it still feels like we don't belong here. We'd stand out way too much if we flew over at the beach. Worst outcome would be someone reporting us to the police, which would end up with us being arrested and then suspended from school. We don't have to worry here though. The cliffs stop people from being able to see. Misaki stretches out wide. Alright, may as well get to flying. Haven't flown out here in a while. Start off slow. I know. Misaki activates her grav shoes and flies toward the field. Man, flying at night is real scary. I'm watching you. Don't worry. The moonlight helps me take in Misaki's form. I trust you. I'm gonna warm up, then do some inverted flying. Not yet. Keep those low yo-yos sharp on the descent. Don't be afraid. I'm telling you I'm afraid of plunging into the water. If you keep this up, you'll never get anywhere. Ugh. Misaki drops down in the night sky as she flies on her back. Her steep descent turns into a steep ascent. We're practicing sharp-angled low yo-yos. If you can't get this done, you'll never be able to fly. That's not fair. Why are you being so much harsher than earlier? 'Cause I get the feeling you're in the mood for it. I am in the mood for it. Ha! We'll need to increase the precision of our low yo-yos, high yo-yos, and scissors. That's the only way to show perfect inverted flight. Now, do a high yo-yo. Your reactions are slow. You're taking a moment to think after I give my orders. Yeah, 'cause I have to do the exact opposite of what I do when flying normally. It's hard. Well, you better ingrain it into your body so it doesn't take a moment. No back talk. Just do it. I'm gonna trust you and you do as you say. But I reserve the right to talk back. She sure is a confusing girl. Fine, do as I say, you can complain all you want. Do the scissors. Too slow. Just wiggle your ass around doesn't count as bending. Shut up. Come on, do the scissors again. Too slow. At this rate, both Inui and Asuka will beat you. I thought you didn't want to lose. I don't want to lose. I've come so far. If I lose now, then I don't know what I'll do with myself. Then put your back into it. My back is in it. Speed up. Faster. It's not that I hate Asuka. I like her. I don't hate Inui-san either. I know. I just don't want to lose. If I lose, I think I'll lose everything. I'm scared. That's all it is. I know. Faster. Meow. Don't stop. Go. Fly on your back and touch the boy. Meow. She tries to check where the boy is as she moves towards it, so the recoil from the impact sends her flying outside the field. Don't stop. Get back. I thought I told you not to stop. Have you gone deaf? I know already. She's at her limit. She's fatigued in both body and soul. Normally I'll force her to rest, but not today. We're not stopping until she wants to. There are some things you can only learn through times of extreme practice, and that time has come for Misaki. Of course I can't promise she'll learn anything here, but, well, there's a world you can only see at the very extremes of exhaustion. Whether that's meaningful or not, however, is up to fate. You just don't know until you try. But for now, if you don't do this now, I'll never let you practice like this again. Have you already lost the will to fly? I want to fly. I do. I do. I can fly. What's next? Give me more orders already. Next. Go fly. Accelerate. Faster. Meow. The moon begins to wane as Misaki's eye yell contorts into a shriek that pierces the night sky. She must be at her limit now, right? I must admit, I didn't think Misaki had this much in her. She used to hate practice so much. She really is determined this time. Tears threaten to well up in her eyes. But I know that's not all. That's just one of many reasons she has to fly. One of the others is to save me. That's why she's pushing herself so hard. I really am gonna cry now. But I know I have to fight back my tears. I can't show a weakness now. A coach's weakness is easily moved onto their players. So instead, I encourage her. Go! You could do this! I know you've got more in you! I can do this. Then touch a boy and accelerate. Yes, sir! Huh? I thought she'd be repelled by a boy. It happened countless times already. She's worn out and can't move the way she wants to. Misaki's arm extended with an almost eerie smoothness. She touches a boy and moves naturally into acceleration. Huh? Her line is straight with no bends in sight. She's accelerating pretty fast too. No slacking. Go into a low yo-yo. No way. Misaki shoots straight down. Again the perfect line. Misaki! Yes, my body's moving how I want it to. I'm doing it, Masaya. I'm moving without even having to think. My mind just went blank. Awesome. That's great. You only need to use your brain when you need to survey the entire game. When you just need to move, it can be as blank as you like. If anything, it's better than blank. Your head is for understanding the situation. Your body is for taking that understanding and flying accordingly. This is so sudden. I feel my entire body relax upon hearing Misaki laugh. My shoulders, which had tensed up without me realizing, dropped down casually. The weight of the world has finally been lifted off me. These things happen. You did it, Misaki. I did. Yep. Go me! I did it! These things do happen! Yay! This is amazing! I'm amazing! You really are, Misaki. You really are amazing. You're a genius. You called me a genius? Right now, at least. That's more than good enough for me. The underlying theory here is that fatigue just left her unable to think, and also unable to consciously exert herself. This happens because a person's body will cut down its use of non-critical functions when they're in a fatigued state. It does this so it can try and maintain use of functions necessary to survive. At times like this, your mind and body become one. All unnecessary movements are reduced, allowing you to act smoothly. Any extraneous forces removed, erased. It's not easy to forget something you learn in this way, similar to how one will never forget how to ride a bicycle. Great work, Misaki. You must be exhausted. Come back down. No. Why not? I'm scared if I stop now I'll forget how to do this, so I'm going to fly a little more. Fine. Fly until you feel comfortable with it. Okay. Misaki continues to fly around the field on her back. Now we can put up a fight. I'm excited. I might be able to get Misaki to where I promised I would. And she's there. Going to the moon. I feel a smile forming on my face. But what will happen to me when she makes it? A strange feeling of anxiety is swelling my chest. It's a dark blob that goes round and round and round. My smile vanishes. I can feel my face stiffening up. Why? I avert my eyes. I don't need to face this feeling. I persuade myself. There's no need to look at it. Wipe it out. Misaki turns off her ground shoes and land on the ground. Phew. Good work out there. You did really well. I need to get changed. I worked up a sweat out there. Cool. Come on, get inside. I urge the club room door I opened the club room door and urged Misaki to enter. I'm getting changed, so come in, Masaya. Do you forget how language works again? Maybe fatigue made her forget the existence of negatives. Just come with me already. Why? Just do it! Okay, I said okay. Wait, don't pull me! Misaki drags me by the arm into the club room. Thanks for coming out here tonight. No, I should be thanking you. Don't be silly, I was the one being selfish. But you produce results here, Misaki. But you're the one who pushed me to do it, Masaya. So, wait, this isn't what I wanted. Huh? Misaki suddenly starts to strip her practice gear. Hey, hold on now. I will not hold on. My head's all like, weird right now. I can't calm myself down in any other way. How the hell do you end up being unable to calm down without stripping? I said hold it. And I said I will not. Hold it. I will not. Misaki's eyes remain perfectly level as she yells at me. She maintains this opposing stance as she reaches out for her practice gear. I cannot hold it. You can't, huh? Well, guess I'm all out of options. Huh. Having changed back into her normal clothes, Misaki breathes a long sigh as she plops down beside me. Feeling better now? Yeah, way better, man. Misaki giggles apologetically. Sorry for all the trouble I caused you. I never considered any of this trouble, so there's no need to apologize. Sorry for all the trouble I caused you. Why do you sound so irritated? What a shame. I was trying to sound cute, not irritated. Misaki, you can't sound cute. Just leave it up to Mishira to sound all cutie-wooty. Misaki blinks in amazement like she's just noticed something, then turns to look at me awkwardly. You think I'm still hyped up? Definitely. She may have said she's calmed down, but she's clearly still excited from earlier. That said, she did calm down a fair bit after stripping. Though I guess I'd find it odd if you weren't all hyped up. I'd be worried why you were acting calm, if anything. So you're saying I can just stay like this, huh? For today, yeah. Would be a problem if it lasted like the whole week, though. Inverted flight. She finally managed something she's been struggling with this whole time. It's only natural she's still excited. The emotions of such an achievement are hard to keep in check. Who knows how I would have reacted if I'd been the one in her shoes. You worked harder today than ever before. Yeah, I did work hard, didn't I? Yeah, I sure did. Yeah. Misaki starts clapping the back of a chair. I finally did it. I've mastered inverted flight. Inflirted. And I saw it all. You flew perfectly. That should help us come back with a whole bunch of new tactics. Sweet! Aha, Misaki's butt starts pouncing up and down off the chair. She's got ants in her pants. What do I do? About what? Maybe we should go test it again. I think I remember how to fly inverted, but maybe I'm wrong. She suddenly starts panicking. Maybe I didn't get it at all. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? This is really bad. Do you remember how many times you pulled it off up there? Don't worry, you've got the hang of it. I guarantee it, Misaki. As your coach and as your boyfriend. But I'm nervous. Once more, just once more. No, as your coach, I really can't let you. And I'm sure you don't need to ask why. Besides, if I let you up there, there's no way you'll come down after one attempt. I know she keeps saying just one more, over and over again. It's weird how I feel like I can fly again when I was so tired a moment ago. Maybe all this practice finally improved my stamina. Man, I could go for infinite practice sessions right about now. Bring 'em on! Wow, just listen to her. She's got the confidence of someone high on Class A drugs. You have built up your stamina, but you're only feeling this way because of the Ephrodorn rush. Endorphin? Your body is exhausted. If you practice anymore, you'll just injure yourself. Really? It doesn't feel like that. Trust me, your mind and body are in balance right now. You try and fly right now and your body won't keep up. You think? I know, your excitement might carry you for as long as you stay up, but if you do anything else, you won't even be able to move tomorrow morning. Personally, that sounds horrifying. It'd be suicidal to practice more. In fact, it might even just be suicide itself. But, you know, I think if I get some more practice in now, I'd have an even better grip on inverted flight. I'd like to forget it all in the middle of a match right now if I was one. I can't let her continue down this train of thought. Misaki? Yes? Your body is what matters in a match. That's what you use to compete, not your mind. You need to trust me here. I don't use my mind. Doesn't sound very convincing after all you said about training my head. We're talking on the lowest level. If you're exhausted or injured, you won't be able to move how you want to, and you won't be any good in a match. Hell, you might even be able to compete in a match. I guess you have a point. Besides, even at full strength, if you went into a match as hyped up as you are now, you'd stand no chance. What do you mean? It doesn't feel like I'd lose if I was feeling like this, and in top form. A person's vision narrows when they're excited. You meant that they're like, can't think rationally? No, it's more fundamental than that. Well, I fundamentally don't get it. You know when you're in a dogfight and your opponent seems to vanish, or how they can be right in front of you but you won't see them stretching out an arm or a leg. Yeah, that happens occasionally. There are tons of reasons why that happens. Say your opponent enters your blind spot and you fall for a feint. Or you fall for a feint. Right? Your field of view is narrow enough without being excited. You know how, even though you're looking straight at me, you can see that desk behind me? Yeah? If you were more excited, you wouldn't be able to see it. Worst case, you'd see nothing but my face. And if an opponent attacked you while your view was that narrow, well, I don't think I need to explain what would happen. Misaki suddenly nods vigorously. Ah, that's it. Sometimes, when I think about how I love you so much, I can only see your face. It's the same thing, huh? Maybe, but you didn't need to phrase it like that to embarrass me, did you? Basically, when you're excited, it gets harder to see your opponent's attacks. Gotcha! It also keeps you from making calm judgments. Like you said, you can't go into a match in that condition. What do you do if I let you practice more and then you end up hurting yourself and can't participate in a full tournament? I already gave you special permission to do extra training today. I really shouldn't have let her do so much hard training on top of what she's already been doing. Things worked out in our favour this time, but there's no telling the future exactly. Ideally, I should have coached her into learning how to fly inverted without the need for those extremes. I'm sorry. I get that you're anxious, and that the only way to get rid of that anxiety is to practice, but to do so for that reason alone would just be practicing for practice's sake. Practicing for practice's sake? Yeah, you get so ingrained in the idea of practicing that you forget why you're practicing. It might help to get rid of your anxieties in the short run, but you wouldn't be facing up to them like you need to. For that, you need to practice to become stronger. Misaki breathes a feeble sigh. I understand. I'll listen to you, Masaya. You don't need to worry about it. Ah! What's up? Misaki giggles mischievously. If I practice so much I get injured, I won't have to enter a tournament, huh? Hey now, that's a bad thought! Cut it out! At least the whole thing about UFOs and meteorites would never happen. Sheesh, I'm just kidding. It's a very appeasing prospect, and I do spend many a night considering it. But I have the courage to just leave it as a joke. Yeah, you better just leave it as a joke! Courage, huh? I guess it is a form of courage. If she just doesn't enter the tournament, she can escape her worries without winning and losing. Taking time to participate anyway when you don't want to lose takes courage. You know how in a tournament half the competitors get knocked out in the first round? Don't you think that's kind of mean? Like cruel even? Yeah, but then it wouldn't be a tournament. It wouldn't be about a first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, so on place. It would just be, well, everyone gets a participation medal. Because there's no reward for first if everyone gets the same medal. Yeah, I do. To make matters worse, there's only one person who can make it through the entire tournament without losing. Think about it in that way. It does take courage to go out there declaring you're aiming for first place. But that's what everyone wants to do. That's why you participate, to see how far you can get, and to get that first place spot. Why is a kitty cat like me playing FC in the first place? How many times do I have I had this conversation with Misaki now? I don't think it's a matter if she's bringing it up as a joke or if it comes up in serious conversation. It's a doubt that's constantly plaguing her mind, because you don't want to lose. Yeah, but I feel like that's not all there is to it. There's got to be something else. F-U-N. Fun. Maybe you're playing FC to find out the answer? That makes sense. But at the same time, it's so pretentious. Either way, it's a problem for you, not me, Misaki. Misaki's face is all serious for a moment, but then she starts smiling bashfully. Maybe so, maybe so, for goodness sakes. I plan on doing all I can to make what I just said a reality, and not just pretentious BS. Perhaps, at the end of the day, if it is just pretentious BS, we're sprouting to ourselves, but sometimes you just gotta do whatever you can to push yourself forward. Thank you. No, thank you. As I was bowing, I caught a silver hue in the corner of my eye. I casually glanced in that direction. What are you looking out the window for? It's a full moon tonight. The full moon hangs high up in the sky. A single eye in the sky, sorry. Oh yeah, it is. I could see it so well while we're flying inverted. Normally you never get to see the moon from that angle. Not when flying normally. Makes sense. You're facing opposite directions after all. It felt so new and exciting whenever I went into a low yo-yo while looking at the moon, but also kind of eerie. It was a little scary even. Kind of felt like I was going to fall forever and ever. I see. Sounds like some kind of nightmare. The size of the moon doesn't change. It's the same whether I do a high yo-yo or low yo-yo. I can fly and fly, but the moon never changes. There are moments when I lose track of what position I'm flying in because of that. That's a unique feeling. You might be the only one who's gone out there wheezing around the night sky upside down. No one else knows what that's like. I guess. Maybe I was flying so well because my senses were driven mad. What do you mean? Like, maybe it sharpened senses I didn't know I had before, or stopped me from focusing on which way was up and which way was down? The only landmark you had was the moon. It's an interesting theory. I think I would have crashed into a sea a bunch of times without you directing me. I'm glad you didn't. I don't even want to imagine how bad it would have been if she ended up in the sea in the dark. I'll never let her do something like this again. But she's inching closer. Misaki shuffles closer in silence. What's up? You know, with all the excitement left in me, and I was left looking up at the night sky, I got scared and anxious. Kind of felt like I was about to be swallowed up by the darkness. Should I put my arm around you at times like these? Misaki pouts and glares at me. Should you not ask permission at a time like this? Good point. Ah. I put an arm around Misaki's shoulder and pull her toward me. You know what, it's kind of gone steep, but the second half of this route has got a big redemption to it. But then again, she's still an arsehole at the end of the day. She nods in satisfaction. There we go. Now just notice something. Mishiro and Misaki's eyes and Botan-san's eyes are all the same colour. Thank you. Wait a minute, aren't every character's eyes purple? I doubt it. Next time I look like I want a hug, just do it. Don't worry about where we are. That last bit is a bit much, Ross. Yeah, exactly. I couldn't do it at school or in the middle of town. Well, definitely not at school. Coward. Just try not to make a scene in public. We end up looking at the moon through the window as we embrace. Huh. Being afraid of the moon is so childish. I'm really embarrassed. No, it's good that you're scared. I'm glad you haven't lost that fear. Why is that? If you never got scared in a match, you just keep trying to pull off reckless stunts one after the other. But what if I'm too scared to do anything at all? That's going too far in the other direction. You have to be the right level of timid. Is that a feint? Or are they trying to draw me in? You'll never be strong unless you can think like that. We're back to talking about FC again, aren't we? We are. Fear is a powerful emotion. If you can use that to better yourself, then you'll come out even stronger. A powerful emotion, huh? I'm scared of what will happen if I lose too. Then use that as a weapon to go beyond what you can right now. Losing right now is not a loss. It's an experience. I know. You think I'm too all or nothing when it comes to matches? A little. Still, your speciality is close-range dogfights. It's probably for the best you wipe away that fear. Fear could dull her momentary judgments, so she may be better off running on instinct. However, I think Inui gets afraid. Inui says? When she dominates everyone so badly? If she didn't, she'd never have thought up those tactics, and she wouldn't be able to pull them off either. If you see a chance to get a point, you'll go for it. But I imagine Inui would still prioritize having her height advantage. She gets scared, huh? Well, it's just a hypothesis. She could also be pushing her desires to go in for an all-out fight to the back of her mind. What about Asuka? Asuka, huh? She doesn't seem that afraid in general, but I know she was at least frightened during the second half of her match with Shindo-san. I think she's the kind of person who finds being scared fun. Everyone who gets scared wants to take a step forward and see what lies on ahead, at least to a certain extent. I see. I'm the reverse though. I want to run away from my fears. Says the girl who didn't run and instead mastered the art of inverted flight. Oh yeah, I did do a pretty job, huh? Good job, huh? A pretty job. Actually, both of those make sense. You did a pretty job. Yeah, right. It's a bit weird thinking about myself in that way. You did a really good job. Thank you. Misaki shyly casts her eyes to the floor. You know? I was thinking it'd be nice if you squeezed me a bit tighter. I do so, holding her tight in my arm, but not to the point of hurting her. Okay, this good? Sure is. So, what's bothering you? You know, the moon? Yeah. I was just thinking about how beautiful it is. Right. So... Nah, that's all. Just figured it might be kind of romantic, looking up at the moon while my boyfriend holds me close. The moon is only possible to be beautiful by the sun. And then she's looking down. Misaki begins to tremble. Oh, she's about to say something she finds embarrassing. You, of course. What's more beautiful, me or the moon? Can't say I expected that. I bet she's trying to set the mood for us to make out, but that went way too far. Can't complain though, since it probably took a lot out of her to work up the courage to say that. I'm pretty sure I can feel Misaki heating up. I've got to say something. Gah! If you dare say anything that pees me off, I'll bite your earlobe or your nose or your tongue or whatever's easiest and tear it off. I mean it. Don't mean it. What did I do to deserve such a terrifying girlfriend? Relax, I'm not going to pee you off. So like, do you know the word lunatic? No. Sounds like I got something to do with the moon. Oh. Do you use it like, Masaya's head is so smooth and sparkly as Toad's lunatic? I'm not bald. And my head doesn't sparkle. I've got full hair of hair up there. I'm thinking about our future. I definitely won't go bald, okay? There's no way that'll happen, right? So, what was this about your hair loss? I don't know how to pronounce that. Don't make up words, it's lunatic. Got it? Misaki's talking nonsense again to help regain her footing from her previous embarrassment. She probably wants to put all this behind her as fast as possible. In the old days, people used to think that spending too much time in the moonlight would make you lose your mind. You were saying earlier how staring at the moon for so long drove your senses mad. Right, but people in the old days went through the same sensations as me. You see the moon a lot in art, so I'm guessing it's a theme that hasn't changed much over the years. Anyway, lunatic basically means that you're mad or you've lost your mind. Spending too much time in moonlight can make you lose your mind, huh? That does seem frighteningly possible. Fortunately, I haven't spent enough time under the moon to be a lunatic, but I think I'm a Misakitic. You're just so cute that I'm losing my mind. I'm a Misakitic. Misaki clamps her lips shut, her head trembling. I'm a Misakitic? I'm a Misakitic. I double down. A stiff laugh escapes her lips. Should I be laughing? Or should I be happy? Either's fine by me. I keep a completely straight face and whisper, Misakitic. What the hell? This is just so unfair, Masaya. That's just how madly I'm in love with you, Misaki. Then that makes me a Messiah-tic. Misakatic. Messiah-tic. She roars with laughter. Her body bumps against mine with every giggle. I know I've been unreasonable, but thank you. I've only made it this far because you're here by my side. I'm in the same boat here. I'm only here because you are. Well, I'm glad you're here anyway. Thank you for being a... Misakitic, she says playfully. Then she presses her cheeks against mine like a pampered kitten. Let's make out. Just don't kiss with... Just don't kiss me until my lips swell up this time. I'll do my best. Misaki shuts her eyes and tapes her lips, so I gently press my own against her. I also start vigorously stroking Misaki's hair. You're so cute. She starts bumping her forehead against my chest. Oh, jeez. You're so damn cool, Masaya. Sheesh. Come on now. Look this way. Okay. I close my lips against hers once more. I convey my feelings through these kisses. How long has this been going on for? Is this the next day now? Kisses that feel this good just don't count as just making out. Sorry. Masaya, you perv. I'm not the only one around here. I can't deny that, I guess. I start stroking her hair again. Congrats on mastering inverted flight. Thanks. It's all because of you, Masaya. It came down to your hard work, though. Guess that's true. It is. We hug each other tight. I love her so much. Just being together with her like this is so much fun. I wish this moment could last forever, but inside I smile wearily. The world isn't that kind. I'm going to do my best at the fall tournament, and I'm going to help you. Let's give them hell together. Yeah, together. Forever and ever. We squeeze down on each other again. Let's give them all hell together. 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 My heart starts to pulsate. I begin to feel sick. Not this eerie feeling again this time. Come on. Stop all of this. That means not just Misaki, but me too. And not just in the meaning of supporting her. I can feel her within my arms. If I made my own comeback, then I'd have the right to hold her in my arms. But even though she's working so hard, I just don't think I have it in me. Even now, I can see all her hard work right in front of me, and yet Masaya? Huh? What's up? It doesn't hurt, so you can hug me tighter. Okay. I can only say this because I'm still excited from earlier, but I'm not gonna break if I have to drag you behind me for a bit. I might be frail, but you can rely on me that much at least. I smile wearily. I think out of everyone she's the least frail when it comes to all of the girls who has their roots. Roots as in roots in the game, not roots as in roots in the hair. Sorry. Guess you noticed my strange mood. Must be easy for that to happen when you're holding someone close. Sometimes I do feel a sense of anxiety when I look at her. When you take a moment to think about it, Misaki can be a bit of a troublesome girlfriend, but you don't even need to think to know that I'm a troublesome boyfriend. It's okay. I promise I'm not going to run away. Thank you. I won't either. I'll try and brush aside the fear that's welling up inside me. I promise. I'll never run away. We hug each other tighter, the silver moon glistening in the corner of my eye. It's fine. I'm fine. Really. I'm going to support Misaki from the bottom of my heart. I know I'm capable of at least that much. I'll repeat that over and over in my mind. What's up? Misaki twists around to look out the window. Doesn't it look like the moon's caught up in the window frame when you look at it from this angle? Huh? The moon's been caught inside a small frame. That's the very tactic we're trying to master, yeah? Yeah. Heh. I said something pretty clever, huh? The moon's been caught up inside a small frame. I feel like I could just reach out and touch it. Hell, I can! Misaki stretches out a hand and presses a fingertip up against where the moon is displayed through the glass. See, I did it, right? If you catch the moon, then you should be able to trap any opponent within your frame. I might just be saying this because I'm super high off the endorphin rush right now, but Misaki's eyes are filled with determination. I'm pretty sure this isn't just because of her mood. This must be how she truly feels. I'm going to prove that no opponent can escape me. Yeah, I'll listen to her with admiration. I don't care what you have to do to get me to get there. I can take it. I know. I shake her head. Misaki's the cool one, really. Not me. I'll do everything I can to get you there. I'm counting on you. Misaki gives the casual nod. I'm going to keep up until I get there. Wait. No. Misaki smiles with her whole face. I want to keep going until I get there. Saying I'm going to make sounds inevitable. And obviously I can't promise I definitely will. If you want to get there, then I'm sure you will, Misaki. I don't know where exactly that place is. I just feel like I can get there. That's what becoming stronger is all about. I think Misaki's feeling a mix of baseless self-confidence and self-confidence grounded in the results of her practice. That baseless self-confidence is what makes her aim far off into the distance. The grounded self-confidence is what gives her the strength to get there. I know you'll get stronger, Misaki. Yeah, I definitely will. Misaki gives me a diligent nod, then leans toward me pleadingly. It'd be perfect if I was stronger already. She anxiously presses her head against my shoulder. Confidence, anxiety, and all sorts of other emotions are just swirling around inside of me. I'll share these emotions with you. Yeah. Misaki gives several repentant nods, then once again presses her fingers to the moon. I'll do this. I will do this. She repeats those words as she's casting a spell. And now we are moving on to practice time. No. I'm going that way. Psych! And scored. Wow! We all cry out. That was beautiful. Misaki managed to easily pull a whole meter apart from Mark Skywalker. It's proof that she has them in the palm of her hand now. That was great. Return to your position to take it from the top. Roger! Yeah. Also, Misaki, Use that FC mind of yours. This is your first time putting these tactics into practice. Let's see you throw in feints and other tricks too. Will do. Misaki's voice resounds through the headset. She's really got the hang of inverted flying. Yeah, it's completely different from how she was at first still. It's exhausting work that tends to leave her unstable by the end, so I think she needs to train her back muscles and abs more. You can leave that to me. I'll set up a training regime that'll have her ripped in no time. Thanks, man. I'm sure you've already realized, but what's that? She's working within a small frame. Yeah. The mysterious masked Skywalkers trying to keep the pressure up like they have done in all their prior sessions, that is, closing from above Misaki while blocking her escape routes. Until this point, Misaki's always end up being pushed down to water level, unable to do anything, or launched into a reckless assault that sees her easily deflected. However, her inverted flight allows her to ignore the pressure from Misaki Skywalker and assert her dominance. Flying inverted against a player trying to keep the height advantage has you drawing in close and exerting pressure on each other. It ends up bringing the match down to a small scale. And that's perfect for Tabasawa. Yeah. Oh! Masked Skywalker abruptly launches forward. Misaki responds in kind. Don't think that'll work out every time. Huh? I see. Masked Skywalker arches backward and pushes their legs out, leaving them flying vertically. What? Misaki raised into the space previously occupied by Masked Skywalker's upper body. That drew her in perfectly with that feint. She got cocky, so there goes her balance. Maybe she was too excited over her progress and got ahead of herself. Masked Skywalker may have drawn Misaki in, but they'll need to rotate around to her back in order to touch it. How do they plan on pulling that off? Got you! Oh, interesting. Masked Skywalker begins to pull down on Misaki's head on up. They're pulling into a low yo-yo, giving away the height advantage to target the boy. Perfect! Another one. Misaki touches Masked Skywalker's back. Nice! My impressions leave my mouth before I can even register them. Masked Skywalker's tricked by Misaki. As she climbed a height advantage, they pulled into a low yo-yo toward the boy. Misaki had twisted into a forward roll while ascending, returning to normal flight and pulling out into a normal yo-yo of her own. As a fighter, her initial velocity is much greater than Masked Skywalker's, allowing her to easily touch their exposed back. That just now was the result of her drawing Mask into a smaller frame. Tabasawa was pretty incredible, huh? She is incredible. Her chances of getting points are way higher now than at the start. That was an irregular angelic halo she pulled off. Well, in theory, anyway. An angelic halo? Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. Angelic? What's that? Angel. A really bizarre move that Aoi-san used on the world stage. You fly at ultra high speeds in rings around your opponent to stop them from being able to move. It's way too hard for most Skywalkers to pull off. It allows you to completely dominate your opponent, so it should be effective against Iniui's playstyle. Though that's the reason Iniui-san abandoned that technique, I doubt I'll ever see it in action again. It's way easier to pull off, but in theory they're similar. Yeah, I think so. Without the contrails from your shoes dazzling your opponent, you don't inspire the same levels of fear. I doubt you have much of a chance of winning if you encounter someone using that technique. However, inverted flight is far more usable than the angelic halo is. Trapping someone inside a small frame, packaging them up, making them fit your mold. How about super package mold? I'm not so sure about that one. I speak into my headset. Hey, Shiraz-san just suggested that we call that fighter style of yours super package mold. Thoughts? Super package mold? Sound kinda lame to me. It's a brilliant name. But mask? We could call it Sumo for short. It suits you perfectly. You think the name Sumo fits me? What do you mean? Don't you worry, there are tons of cute sumos out there. But I'm not that fat. I mean, I'm not fat at all. Your special move is the Sumo. If Mars likes it, then it's fine by me. Looks like we're gonna make it in time for the full tournament. Yeah, we will. Thank you, Masaya. I gotta thank everyone else too. Yeah. Misaki looks up into the sky as she flies. She's flying inverted, so I can't see her face. I wonder what kind of expression she has. What's up? Just wonder if we'll get lucky enough for a meteorite to fall and mess up the tournament area without killing me. Anyone? This again? Cut it out! We made it in time. Now I've lost another of my excuses. Look, I'm gonna win! I'm gonna win for myself, for you, and for everyone who's helps. I have to win. Yeah, you're gonna win. If I lose, I'll be so depressed I'll die. But if I'm depressed, I'm just depressed. Yeah. That's what she's afraid of, though. Do not be afraid, man. Woman. She acts like a man anyways. She's worked so hard for so long, but that could all come crushing down around her at a tournament. The winner could be determined before they even step out on the field. So just how much resolve has gone into Misaki to claim that she's gonna win? Just imagine how she must feel as we breaking out in goosebumps. I'm gonna win the full tournament! Misaki cries up to the sky. Aha, we haven't seen these characters in a hot minute. Well, besides the third one anyways. What? Okay, we're gonna see what this malarkey is in the next time around. Thank you all so much for watching, guys. Tensions are high, but excitement is high as well. Wait a minute, why does it say I'm quitting FC? Misaki suddenly swishes Mr. Sheets from my face. That should not say that. That should not say that. I found an error. This scene has the wrong chapter heading on it. Okay, everyone. Thank you so much for watching, and see you all in the next time. It should be what we wanted. And what we wanted, or what we want, is for Misaki to win the full tournament. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care of yourselves.